Hi, welcome to Pine Forest Brauerei. I'm Gretchen Swank. Most of you already know that I am a holistic healer. I work within the modalities of yoga, Reiki, Ayurveda, herbalism. I'm also an apprentice with the New Orglava Guild of Brauerei and Hexerei practitioners. Basically, I work with the energies of the earth, the cycles of the seasons, nature in general, to bring about happiness and healing for people on levels of emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical, so people can live their most fulfilling, happiest lives. Something people typically do not know about me is I'm also a wilderness survival instructor. I'm an avid outdoors person. I love to be outside, hiking the trails of Pennsylvania, backpacking, gardening. I love my hands in the dirt, my feet on the trails, kayaking, sailing. Just being outside is where I find my solace, my peace, my quiet, my own healing. Pennsylvania is where I was born and where I was raised, where I continue to live, where I plan to never move from. It's the environment that I love. You will never catch me outside, though, on the trails, teaching a wilderness survival course, gardening, doing anything in the wilderness without my holistic first aid kit. So I'm going to show you today how I created my own holistic first aid kit. So you may want to put your own together. Typically, people of the Pennsylvania Dutch community of Pennsylvania Dutch descent really enjoy the outdoors. We're typically the type to be farming, gardening, and such, enjoying the wilderness. So these holistic first aid kits are very easy to do and easy to stow away and light to carry. Obviously, when I'm backpacking, I don't want a lot of extra weight, so I make sure that the remedies I put into the kit are lightweight and crossover, so they can treat a variety of ailments, conditions. Let me get my cat out of the way, thank you. They treat a variety of ailments, conditions, aches and pains that may pop up when one is outdoors. So they're very well worth putting together. I use it a lot more than my standardized Red Cross first aid kit, which I always carry alongside of my holistic first aid kit. As a retired Pennsylvania State Trooper, I am well versed in traditional standardized American Cross first aid, and the holistic first aid kit is very complimentary. I actually use the holistic first aid kit much more often than the Red Cross first aid kit, and I find it much more useful. So without further ado, this is Colossus liniment. I put it in a little dropper bottle. It's amber colored. I have made it myself. It takes about 6 weeks to make. Now, if you Google Colossus liniment, you will find a variety of variants on ingredients and steeping time. I make mine from rubbing alcohol, powdered myrrh, powdered golden seal, and cayenne pepper. I let that steep into the rubbing alcohol for about 6 weeks in a cool, dark place, shaking occasionally. I will make a blog post on how to create that remedy. It is the go-to. You need that in your kit. There is no better antibacterial, antiseptic that you can carry. It has a multiple variety of uses. It's really good for soothing sore muscles. You put that on a bug bite or an open wound, or it's something that's oozy, like some type of like a snake bite or something like that. It is going to heal that up very quickly. It kind of sucks the bug's juices right out of the bite. It dries it up, takes the itch out. It's wonderful. It also can help with a headache. So if you feel, I suffer from migraines, So if I feel a headache coming on, I can rub that right on my forehead, right on my temples, right over my right eye where I get my migraines, and let that soak in, and it's very helpful. I also carry a small bottle of rosemary oil, essential oils. Any brand will do. I like organic, natural brands, and I make sure they're therapeutic. So I got mine at the natural store that's local here in State College. And rosemary oil, now I carry this specifically, mostly for putting on my wrists and my ankles to deter ticks and mosquitoes. They don't like the smell of it, so it kind of repels them away. It's also good for antibacterial purposes, so you could put a couple of drops of it in your tea at night if you're sitting around a campfire, if you're camping, or if you want to put a couple drops in your water. It's really good internally as well, but the bug repellent nature of it is mainly why I carry it. Same with the lemongrass. The lemongrass has a scent that mosquitoes and ticks really do not like. Again, I rub it on my wrists and my ankles. You can put it into a carrier oil and rub it on that way. I put it on raw, so you have to be careful how you're using your oils and what you're sensitive to. Make sure you test everything out at home before you carry anything onto the trail and use for the first time, because you don't want to have a reaction if you're out in the middle of the Appalachian Trail and you're far from help and you have an allergic reaction to something that you haven't tried before. And always check with your doctor before you use or carry anything new, of course. But lemongrass is really good for repelling insects, especially mosquitoes and ticks. That's mainly why I carry it. It is also very good for athlete's foot. So if you are hiking and backpacking many miles over several days and develop athlete's foot, it's antifungal. So you can rub that on your feet, and it can be really helpful, especially if you mix it with tea tree. I typically carry tea tree with me. My tea tree oil is not in my kit right now. I took my tea tree oil out to make another remedy downstairs, so I do not have that available to show you, but tea tree oil is essential to carry in your holistic first aid kit, especially if you are going to be using your feet a lot in the wilderness, because it is very good at healing the feet, the skin especially. Internally, I would not use tea tree oil. Do not use tea tree oil internally. Lemongrass, you could put a couple of drops of this into your tea and it will settle your belly if you have an upset stomach on the trail. Sometimes that happens. Or if you're kayaking long distances or the such, or camping and eat something that doesn't agree with you, that will settle your belly as well. Next thing I have here is CBD oil. Be careful if you're going to put CBD oil in your holistic first aid kit that you're buying a trusted brand. I am not a personal consumer of CBD oil internally. Sometimes if I'm hiking long distances over several days on a backpacking trip, I will add a little bit of this to some coconut oil and rub it on my knees or my ankles if they're sore. By the next morning, I'm ready to go again. It really soaks in very well. It's very anti-inflammatory. CBD oil can take down anxiety, can help with depression. So if you experience some mood changes, if you're out on an expedition or you're out in the wilderness for a long time, CBD oil can help calm you down. If you're experiencing an uptick in your moods and emotions. Internally or externally, it does wonders for anti-inflammatory purposes. So I carry that mainly for other people. If I encounter somebody who has a sprained ankle or has really sore joints, it's really good for that. You can put a couple of drops in somebody's tea or water, or like I said, rub it right on there. So if you can find a brand that is dual, internal and external, perfect. This here is powdered yarrow. I'm going to disturb Lucy just for a moment to show you what powdered yarrow looks like in my little canister. This canister is very lightweight. That's why I carry it. Come back, Lucy. So this powdered yarrow is very powerful at stopping blood. So if somebody experiences, or yourself experience, a cut or a wound, you just dab that powdered yarrow right on there and it will clot it up. It's also good for an upset stomach. If you have polycythemia or a disease of some type where you experience thick blood or slow moving blood, do not take yarrow internally. And I would be very careful using it externally as well. You don't want to get that into your bloodstream. So again, check with your doctor. You don't want to use anything that's going to make you sick and have an extreme emergency, especially if you're out in the wilderness. The yarrow I have used on my son, on my son's friends, on myself, on family members. It is very good. So if someone experiences a cut, say I cut myself with my knife while I am bushcrafting out there at my wilderness survival school, I will dab a little bit of Kloss's liniment on there to clean and to help heal. Once that dries, I will dab the yarrow on there to make sure the blood clots and stops. Then I will get out my standardized Red Cross first aid kit and get a bandage and put it right on top there and let it go. It will typically heal very quickly. Obviously, if something needs stitches or is bleeding very badly, or if you cut yourself too deeply, you might need to pull out a something more severe to stop the bleeding, and you are going to have to get evacuated and get to a hospital very quickly. So a tourniquet, that's the word I was looking for. You're gonna get a tourniquet on there. I carry 2 tourniquets in my standardized Red Cross first aid kit. So you're gonna wanna get a tourniquet on there, and you're gonna wanna get evacuated to a hospital right away. Yarrow is not going to stop a bleeding artery or anything like that. So we're talking about superficial bleeds, or little deeper bleeds that don't require stitches or the such, or more advanced medical care. So I just want to be clear on that. I also carry aloe capsules. So aloe capsules, these here are gel caps. So the gel caps are mainly for the stomach, taken internally for an upset stomach. But the gel caps can also be cut apart, so the gel can be used externally as well. So if there is a burn or an irritation to the skin, these gel caps can be cut open and the aloe can be placed directly onto the burn or the skin irritation, and then bandaged up with a bandage from your other first aid kit. But I carry the capsules because they're dual purpose. Internal for the stomach, external for the skin. Finally, last but not least, is turmeric capsules. Now, turmeric is a very, very powerful antioxidant. Very powerful anti-inflammatory. It's very good to carry. It will thin your blood, so you want to be careful. So if you suffer from thin blood, or you can't have a danger of bleeding, so you can't have a danger of getting cut because you will bleed out very quickly because of thin blood, you don't want to take turmeric. But turmeric will stop inflammation, will stop inflammation in your body. So if you have a strain or a sprain or a headache, take some turmeric capsules and it'll calm it down. Some people might be saying, well, why not just carry some turmeric tea bags or something like that? You can certainly do that, but the capsules are much more powerful. So in a holistic first aid kit, you want to carry the capsules because they're going to pack a punch. I do carry tea bags that I create with other herbs for other purposes, so I can double down with the turmeric capsules if I feel the need. But again, want to look at dual purposes and multiple purposes here. And if I need something anti-inflammatory very quickly, I want as much as possible. So sipping a tea is not what I want to do. I want to look at something that's going to pack more of a punch for that. So everything goes right in this little bag. So I probably picked this up at Rite Aid or CVS or Walmart, in a pharmacy somewhere. It's very lightweight, just a makeup kit for traveling. And I would put my Colossus liniment and the CBD oil in small plastic bags, so in case they leak, they don't leak all over the place. Everything fits in here nicely. I keep a couple of little positive mental attitude items in here too. Now, positive mental attitude falls into our survival priorities and wilderness survival. This is a bracelet my friend Tracy got me. It says "Just Breathe." So it's doesn't only carry the energy of a good friend, but a nice sentiment as well. Just breathe. And an autism awareness bracelet for my son. Reminds me of my son and has his energy on it as well. So thinking again outside of the box and crossing over into the aspects of wilderness survival and intention, and adding in even into a first aid kit intention and energy that's going to heal. So we're thinking on all levels here. Again, holistic, whole, making whole and balance. Just breathe. Perfect. So all this stuff fits in here very nicely. And then I will pack it away. So you could carry this with you. You can carry it in your car, put it in your glove box. I wouldn't leave it in there because extreme temperatures, heat and cold, will disturb some of the oils and might cause them not to work as well. And packs away very nicely. So there you go. There's your holistic first aid kit. If you're out gardening or hiking a trail, kayaking, what have you, spending any time outdoors, I would have one close by. So thank you very much, and I hope you all have a great day.